we are, interested and also motivated to teach the AI how to see things actually?
Generally, it's a very simple platform where we already have a system installed in the camera, in a phone, and then we just mount on the windshield.
Part of our company's vision is to bridging the gap between the research community and the real industry community.
Kecerdasan buatan, mengikut definisi amnya, ia merupakan bidang kajian kejuruteraan mesin yang mampu meniru serta melakukan fungsi dan ciri-ciri pemikiran manusia. Berbeza dengan kapasiti otak manusia, kecerdasan buatan mampu menyimpan sejumlah besar maklumat yang membolehkannya berfikir serta memberi penyelesaian kepada masalah yang tidak dapat diatasi oleh manusia. Neuon AI, sebuah syarikat tempatan, telah melihat peluang ini untuk mereka menyediakan perkhidmatan yang berteraskan kecerdasan buatan di Sarawak.
Artificial intelligence, putting in layman words, is a human-created intelligence for machines to be able to mimic what humans normally can do. For me, artificial intelligence is more like tools that would help us to improve our quality of lives, and same as your microwave works, same as how your cars works. For artificial intelligence, they can do much more. It's the future.
Tanpa disedari, kecerdasan buatan kini telah digunakan dalam kehidupan seharian seperti aplikasi telefon bimbit, atur cara media sosial dan enjin pencarian, pengawasan dan lampu trafik pintar serta banyak lagi.
This machine, they are like humans' behavior that we purposely make it like that so that it will learn based on what we would. But if you imagine if you have a baby, you try to teach him things like recognizing a dog. So if you bring a dog, white dogs, and then you let him know this is a dog, but you never show him any dogs, then he's lived with this dog for a few years without seeing other dogs. So if he see a new dog, of course he would not be able to recognize that's the dog because that's the only dog he sees. But if you show the kids or the baby different dogs, pictures of dogs, play with different dogs, of course they will learn the dog's features. Then they know what is a dog. Machine behave the same. If you give the same data all the time, a white dog, then a black dog he will not recognize as black dogs because that's how human brain works well.
There is many fields of AI. So we have this expert system. We have this robotics. We have computer vision. We have NLP, natural language processing. So you see, in each field, actually each of these fields, when we are talking about AI, is actually a very big picture. It's a very big thing. It can be further break down into the scope that I mentioned. Like for example, NLP, natural language processing. So you will teach the AI to understand about the speech, about the context, and then to translate them. So when we are talking about this computer vision, so computer vision is focusing on teaching the machine to see things. The image that we captured from the camera, the image that we, the video that we captured from the camera, then we will tell them what is your interest, because an image will be an image if you don't know how to analyze them. But in here, when we are teaching the AI to have the computer vision, meaning to say when you give them an image, they will tell you whether this is a cat, this is a dog, this is a human, this is a party, or there is many more that we can tell. Recognizing the people is also possible, and detecting the road damage is also one thing that we are working on. So all this is about the learning process for the AI.
According to the world statistic, now in 2020, we have about the market size of the AI is about 60 billion. But in the coming 5 to 7 years, I think it will be about probably 500 billion. And the growth rate is very high. The growth rate is about 40% compounding annual. So I would see it's good because whether you like it or not like it, I think that is a trend.
Visi komputer merupakan satu cabang kecerdasan buatan yang dapat melatih komputer untuk menerima dan menafsir visual untuk melaksanakan sesuatu arahan.
We are, interested and also motivated to teach the AI how to see things actually. Teach AI to how to see things. So far we managed to teach the AI how to see faces. So we have the facial recognitions. So basically it will be detecting the face, telling who is this person, what is their emotions, and it can be potentially applied in many applications.
One of the work that we done in Neuon is regarding to facial recognition. So in facial recognition, usually there are three different kinds of application. First, of course, is face detection, where you try to figure out where a person's face is in front of cameras. The second one would be verification. You want to know whether the person in front of the camera is someone. Let's say I want to verify whether I'm me. So I select identity, then it's verified. So if I select someone else, like this actress, then of course your result failed because the verification failed. The other type is identification. Identification is where you are given a pool of identity, and then they try to see who you are within the pool. So this system not only be able to recognize who you are, but certain minor changes to your face, like you take off your spectacles, it will still work. So this system is quite robust. So the other one would be this, we call it emotion recognition. So we see this bar changing according to emotion, and this is happiness bar. So we put it aside for convenient purposes. If I smile, you go out. I laugh, and it detecting you are happy. So if you are sad, then other one will be face or angry. So this is emotion recognition models that we have developed, mainly for customer analytics, whether the customer are satisfied with the products. What we did is we do similar things to what object recognition did. We present them a lot of human faces with different expression, and then we use artificial neural networks to learn what is the important facial expression or micro expression that represent a certain mood.
Root Plus, satu aplikasi kecerdasan buatan yang dicipta oleh Neuon AI, telah memenangi pertandingan hackathon peringkat kebangsaan pada tahun lepas.
Okay, well done, Road Plus. AI-powered road asset management infrastructure.
Generally, it's a very simple platform where we already have a system installed in the camera, in a phone, and then we just mount on the windshield, and we start digitize the road condition. We just have one button, click it, and then it start getting the video feeds, and the video feed will be sent into our server to be analyzed by the AI, and any of the port damage or the location will be sent back to compound as a report and send back to JKR. Before this, the JKR they are doing it manually, where one person is sitting in the car, one person is driving and do the recordings and getting and do all the notes and record on the porthole and record the coordinate and so on. But now we actually did make it more simple, where all the location and the porthole, all the image is automatically generated. That's how it works.
Yeah, so this is the road damage that we detected by the AI, and then we can preview the report. So this is how the reports submitted from our through our Road Plus app into this cloud platform here. So this is the we can see the damage reported, and from here actually is exact locations are plotted up on the road damages, and from here this detail here actually we can see who is a contractor is actually responsible on this, the geolocations, and then we will know who is the one submitting, and also the date and times the progress has been submitted. So by clicking to this project, actually we can preview what is the report that has been submitted by the IMU, the road maintenance unit. So what JKR requests here is in fact the report, a proper report. So a proper report is including this before, during, and after. So in here we will put in this image for them. So the road maintenance unit, they can just using the apps on site, capture this image and then report it through the apps, and then this is how it look like actually. So this is before, this is during the fixing process. So they are using this method, and then this is the thing that we do after the fixing. When all these things have been approved, then it can be sent to JKR for their references. And then in here, we do keep the log. In this journal, we can see like, okay, what is the exact time and date that this report has been submitted. So all these things is keep in a detail, is in a systematic way. It's not only, report the pothole, but this road maintenance unit, they can use this app, use the same app to do the fixing and then do the reporting part. Meaning to say, we have the detection part, and in the same time on the maintenance part. And after the maintenance, actually we have the report, all this report for the review purpose. So the authority, they can refer back to all this inside one so-called cloud platforms. So with just one platform, they can manage everything on the road assets.
For Gotani, actually, it starts from a collaboration with France. We start from this plant disease recognition and plant recognition. Then after that, that is a core engine that we have built, because we have no farm, we have no real agriculture land for us to actually try to use the system. So what we do is we did the AI call. Later on, we call it joint venture with the local player, like the agriculture players, to try the engine on the field.
So this one is our Gotani platforms. So in Gotani, as we mentioned, this Gotani is about we are using drone mapping to map out, and then we use AI to analyze and to do these tree countings, and also to detect the abnormalities of the palm trees. So from here, this is an example that I wish to share with you. Is on the tree counting part. If you can see, this is a normal RGBs. So we understand that there is a problem statement actually. The agronomists, they need to do the tree counting. The daily job is actually to do these tree countings, and also to do the monitoring in a farm. This process, the conventional process, is actually quite manual. So what we are trying to innovate here is by using the AI to detect the tree patterns and then to do the tree countings. So from here, actually you can see we can select like this is a tree counting features. So by using this, you will see the blue dots. So each of these blue dots is actually drawn by the AI. So with this we can see like each of these three, we can actually give them specific IDs. It's just like, for example, for this tree, right? This tree ID is called 778, and then this location is actually located at this X and Y axis. In this GPS location. So if let's say from this drone shot, right, we inspect that this tree is abnormal, the leaf, maybe the leaf is not healthy. In the next slide, I'm going to show you the NDVI and also this the NDRE, the normalized different vegetable index, captured by the spectrum, the multi-spectrum camera. Then you can see like the changing in different color represent the health of the trees. So if let's say we detect that this tree, this 778 have the abnormality, then the ground people can use the ground apps to go there and then to do the inspections. To know exactly where is the tree that have this issue. Imagine if the plantation is so big, right? So it's very hard for us to go row by row or tree by tree to do the inspection. So the easiest and fast way would be us using drone shot, fly through, using AI to do the analysis and the inspection part. So this is the multi-spectrum image captured by the multi-spectrum cameras. So by detecting this, actually we will know what is the indications of the tree. Like for example, this one is actually an index that fall in between 1 and also 0. So we will know that based on this index, the health of the tree, the biggest number, it would actually the better. So by converting the numbers into different color, we can see like this is the maps that we are generated out. So with this color, actually is represent the tree is actually in health conditions. But with those, like for example, we can detect also this one. This color is maybe this is not the tree. This one is infrastructure. So we will know. And if let's say we are detecting any unusual colors or unusual patterns here, then we will know what is actually happening. Yeah.
My factory AI, if you're talking about AI in factory, it's not matched because the local culture and the local practice, they are using more on a manual way. But for me, there is a lot of tedious job, like for example the quality inspection, more on the visual side. Actually, we need AI because that give us more accurate, and that actually is a repetitive jobs. So we use AI. I would see previously we actually need one person just to supervise on the quality. The quality parts, we are more to visual inspection. We are talking about the visual inspection. So now we no longer need one person just specifically do the visual inspection. Instead, we just mount a camera using the AI to monitor for us. Any issue, it will send a feedback to the system and then to notify us about what is the issue on the stock. So I think that is very important because sometimes humans can do errors, or humans can be tired, or you are not aware sometimes. But AI, it is all the time, 24 hours, it can monitor for you.
Part of our company's vision is to bridging the gap between the research community and the real industry community. So instead of producing something that completely replaces a human force, what we are trying to do is to find coexistence methods to help each parties to achieve more. Like when we implement a system, we don't completely get rid of the old system. We use AI to assist the current system, to assist the current operators. So what we envision is the current operator, he will not lose his job, but he will increase productivity because this assistant is going to help him with this. So boss can expand the business, and then this former operator will be able to handle more jobs, but with less effort.
Neuon AI berharap agar ramai lagi anak-anak muda tempatan akan menceburi bidang kecerdasan buatan. Ini sejajar dengan visi Sarawak untuk menjadi sebuah negeri digital menjelang tahun 2030.
You don't have the AI industry, how do you retain the talent? End up everyone go to Singapore. Many of my friends going to Singapore, going to China. So we start first. And now we trying to get some business. When we start to ask, recruit back the talents that we have. For example, like Yenu, he's a very talented guy. If not founded the company, I believe he's not here. So, but we take the initiative. We start and then we prove ourselves in many competitions, in many international collaboration. We form more to reduce the risk and the cost. We actually form more collaborative work with more university.
Country-wise, actually AI was around for decades. We only maybe heard of it in the recent decades or so, but it actually exists for a long time. Like in the US, they already use it for years for do license plate recognition or criminal tracking, all those things, to help with the law enforcement. Also help with the if you go Google, your browsing history will be used to shape your own preference. They will give you targeted advertisement. That's all AI. So which country, I would say nowadays everywhere, every country is embracing AI, what they can do and what they used to generate or to improve our life quality. But after all, it's a tool. People who hold it have to know how to use, and also have ethical issues involved in AI. So it's very important for the person that use the tool to understand AI is powerful, but you also need to hold your own moral. So for our AI that we build, our country still lag behind, to be honest. But because it's still lag behind, we still have time, we still have a buffering period to shape the AI in the way that we want it, in the way it works, to help us to improve our life quality, not the other ways.
I would say in terms of this, the support-wise, our Sarawak government so far is quite supportive for us, not only in terms of the grants, the opportunity, but in fact I can see they are pushing not in terms of just talking, but in fact they are pushing the solution, the local solution. They want the local made solution. They want the local in-house solutions. So that is also one part I would say we need to be very thankful to our Sarawak government when we are engaging with them about this road asset management. So of course we have the competitors coming out, but what they are doing is in fact they want our local solutions. They don't want it from somewhere. They want to nurture our local talents and let us to take the lead in this. This is something that I see that is not like two policy types, but in fact they are really focusing on the digital economy plans, helping, let us to have the opportunity in taking this lead.
We still have a long way to go before we can reach a point where AI actually helps, enhances our standard and workflow. It's not about having the technology, but it's about using it effectively. Based on current trends and the people I have met with, it won't be long for Sarawak to rise technologically.
I'm not sure about how common the term AI is in Sarawak, but I've never seen a job offer that's related to artificial intelligence or ML, be it directly or indirectly. And I find it interesting because AI is all about making machines work smarter, much more intelligent, and reducing human workload, which means, in other words, reducing human risk factor.